Now, I'm no keyboard connoisseur, but the Nuphy Air75 might be the coolest mechanical keyboard I've ever used, at least at first glance. So here's my first impressions. What is up, guys? My name is Tyler, and today we're looking at the Nuphy Air75 mechanical keyboard, a low-profile hybrid mechanical keyboard with a hot swappable PCB, Gateron, red low-profile switches, and super slick PBT keycaps. Oh, and it has RGB, because why wouldn't it? So the reason I picked up this board is for a couple of reasons. As some of you know, I just picked up a Steam Deck and wanted a solid keyboard to travel with when I take the deck with me on a trip so I can play games like League of Legends, Star Citizen, or just games that run better with the keyboard and mouse. The Nuphy came across my feed recently from an LTT video, which you can find in the link below, and I was immediately drawn to it. No, not because of the cute anime stickers you get, although those are dope, but because it seemed to capture that essence of high-quality keyboards without the price tag or the bulky setup. Now, to be fair, this is supposed to be a hybrid travel keyboard, so it wouldn't be fair to compare it to my glorious GMMK Pro, but each has their strengths. For this video, I'll stick to comparing the Nuphy to two other hybrid/wireless keyboards, the Cooler Master CK721 and the classic Logitech K780, both solid keyboards in their own right, the CK721 being more for gaming, while the K780 being more for productivity. I think the Air75 from Nuphy falls just in between the two, and honestly, that's kind of exactly what I want. Okay, so let's start with the board itself. It's a 75% board, meaning it has arrow keys, a full dedicated function row, page up, down, home, and end keys, making it perfect for gaming or typing documents like the script, which I typed with the Air. The Air75 features low-profile keycaps, which take some getting used to, but after a little bit, you get used to them. They have the low-profile feel of the K780, but the nice mechanical travel of something like the CK721. Again, a happy middle ground between the two. The keycaps almost remind me of marshmallows. They're big, fat, and slightly off-white with gray legends. Unfortunately, the legends are opaque, so the LEDs won't shine through, but honestly, I'm okay with that, especially since you could easily swap out the keycaps for something else if you prefer. Since this is my travel board, I likely will stick to the ones that came with it. However, I recommend sticking to low-profile keycaps to keep the overall profile down, especially if you plan to use this for travel. The top deck of the board is made from what looks to be anodized aluminum in a gunmetal color, which gives the board a nice rigidity where it matters. This means there's virtually no board flex, which can sometimes be a problem for those travel boards. I'm happy to say the Air75 feels extremely solid given its weight. Now, that's in part to the fact that the bottom of the board is made of a translucent plastic, which you'll either love or hate. I personally love it, as it's a unique way to both show off the internals a bit, as well as keep down on the weight without sacrificing rigidity by using an aluminum top plate. And then you've got your shiny Nuphy branding badge on the bottom, which is a nice touch and reminds me a bit of the Ducky keyboards. In terms of style, obviously that's going to be purely subjective to what you want out of a keyboard. I think the Air75 has a very quirky, modern office vibe to it. It's not corporate bland, but it's not overly gamer either, which again, I think speaks to the fact that it sits in the middle between the two. I love the pops of color with the escape, space, and enter keys all having a nice bright but soft color to them. Not too distracting, but colorful enough to grab your attention. Speaking of the keycap colors, I noticed that the Air75 has its colors laid out in a pretty smart way. All the letters and symbols are in the white marshmallow color, while your other action keys like your shift, arrows, and caps lock are all in the gray color. Almost a flip of the letters because they have the same white color, but for the legends instead of the keys. I dig it. Now, I'm a little confused on why the F5 through F8 are gray, as that's only two of your multimedia keys and your keyboard brightness keys. Maybe I'm missing something, but that seems a bit weird in my opinion, but doesn't detract from the overall aesthetics. The Air75 works with both Windows and Mac as well as iOS, and yes, even Linux, as I'm using it on my Steam Deck. Now, keep in mind, the Steam Deck runs a special version of Linux, and the Nuphy wasn't specifically made to work with Linux, so don't expect all the fancy shortcuts to work without likely some tweaking, but for my purposes, it works great. For Windows and Mac, however, you do get multimedia keys, screen brightness control, and even a copy/cut and paste key, as well as a dedicated key for Siri or Cortana, depending on your platform. Which reminds me, I wonder if this board works with Android. If you want to find out, make sure to subscribe, as I'll be reviewing the new Google Pixel 7 Pro, and we'll find out. But for now, we'll assume it does, given it says it does, but that's no fun, right? Like this video if you want to see me test it on the new Pixel. In terms of performance, I mainly use the Air75 in wireless mode using Bluetooth 5.0 for at least this video. Expect a full review where I test all three modes, wired, wireless, and wireless dongle. I will say I appreciate boards that give you all three options, just like the CK721. However, the CK721 had some major Bluetooth input delays when I used it wirelessly. So much that I found it to be completely unusable for typing. And trust me, I don't type fast. But the Air75 seems to not have this issue, at least when I used it on my iPad. But we'll see in the full review. Finally, accessories. The Air75 comes with a super slick anime waifu poster and stickers, as well as some extra keycaps if you plan to use the board for windows, a cap and switch puller, and some extra rubber feet since these are pretty thin. They even toss in test switches. One red, one blue, and one brown. And if I didn't mention before, the Air75 comes with Gateron switches. Either red, which is what I bought, blue, or brown. Red being linear, blue being clicky, and brown being tactile. All of which are low-profile variants. That being said, you can obviously just swap these out for whatever switches you want, so go nuts. You also get 2 magnetic attachable feet. These are in place of flip-out feet to keep the profile slim. I didn't feel like I needed them, but they're there if you do. You also get a braided USB-C cable for charging. An optional accessory I highly recommend is the Folio Case. It's about $40 and not only protects your board when traveling, but also serves as a way to hold up your tablet and or your phone when typing. Super convenient and honestly a great price given the materials and again, that fashionable style. It even has little magnets to hold the board in place. Overall, I'm really impressed with the Nuphy Air75. It's competitively priced at $110, features name brand mechanical switches, super nice PBT keycaps, wireless and wired modes, a super low profile, and has just enough spice to stand out, but not so much that it's distasteful. It's important to mention that Nuphy makes other boards too. They even make a 60% version of the Air if you find yourself needing an even smaller board. It's nearly identical, just a bit smaller. But that's gonna do it for the Nuphy Air75. For now. I definitely want to use this a bit more before giving my final thoughts, so make sure to subscribe to see the full review and make sure to follow me on Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram to stay up to date on all things 24 Concept. Until then, see you in the next one. Peace. It's back here. Look. You didn't even notice it. I mean, how could you? Because it was like I was covering it, but you know, it's fine. All right. See you later.